So today we're going to be making a hologram. So you'll end up with, I did a practice before just to finish up, you'll end up with something like that. So for today you're going to make a hologram of me, but then you're going to take a photo of yourself and make a hologram of yourself. So this is sort of what you'll, if I go there, zoom in, sort of what you'll end up with, making a little hologram thing like it's being projected, sort of like Star Wars, that kind of thing. So I'll just close this. So what you're going to do, you've got these three images now. You've got man holding tablet, you've got hologram Ash, looks like that, very, very angry looking, the tablet, and the spotlight. Okay, that's all we need. So we are going to right click on the man holding tablet image, this one. Right click and choose open with Adobe Photoshop. If you don't have right click for whatever reason, you can hold down the option key on your keyboard. Is that right? No, sorry, control key on your keyboard, and then click on it and you'll get a right click. So open with Adobe Photoshop and you will get that. First things first, we're going to go over here between where it says background and the lock, and we're going to double click between them, and we'll just type in man and go OK, and that gets rid of the lock over there. That's an important part. Okay, we're now going to go File, Place Embedded, right there. Go to the folder where the other images are, and we're going to double click on hologram Ash. There it is, and we'll just, you can see it's got the big cross over it. We're just going to, anywhere over this image, we're just going to double click on it, and that basically embeds it in, that cross goes away. We need to do that. Okay, we're going to do the same for the spotlight. So File, Place Embedded, Spotlight. Looks like a big cross. We'll double click on it again, that gets rid of the cross, and now it's embedded, and there we are. Save as you go. If things crash and whatever, you'll lose all your work and have to start again. So go File, Save As. I'll just call it Hologram Ash, and save it somewhere you're going to find it. I'm just going to put it in that folder. You can put it on your desktop or whatever, and leave Format as Photoshop, and go Save, and just click on OK for that one. There we go. So we can just hide the spotlight for the moment, and we'll hide me for the moment. And there we've got our man in a suit. So what we're going to do first is, sorry, I didn't explain hide. You see these little buttons here with eyes on them? That's hide layer. So when it's got an eyeball on it, you can see it. When you click on that eye, the eye disappears and you can't see that layer anymore. Okay, see that? So we'll hide the spotlight one for the moment. We want to click and make sure this hologram Ash layer is selected. And we're just going to cut me out, all right? We don't want any of this random background of the media room here. So to do that, we're just going to go up to our tools here. Remember, if for some reason you don't have your tools, any window that you're missing, you can get back via your window menu. So right there, go to Window, down here to Tools. You can see it right there. Okay, so that's this stuff over here. So we're going to click on this fourth one down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, hold your mouse over it and it'll tell you that it's the Quick Selection tool. We can actually click and hold on it because it's got two, the magic wand and the Quick Selection. But we want Quick Selection. So what we're going to do, before we do that, I'm just going to click on my magnification tool and zoom in a smidge. Okay, so it's 100% down here. And I'm going to go back to my quick selection tool, that one. So all we're going to do now is we're going to click on me. And you can see it's gradually adding, looks kind of like, you know, ants crawling around. Oops, dirty. Just go Command Z to undo. So we want to basically, if you're going to use this, what it basically does is it detects the edge. So if, say for example, I was wearing a black shirt sitting in front of a black background, this tool wouldn't work very well because it's quite, it wouldn't be able to pick the edges out. So this is working reasonably well while I've got a blue shirt on a white background, but when we get down here to my legs where it's brown pants next to sort of darkish trousers, darkish floor, you can see it's doing all right. There we go. It starts to get a bit confused and it selects everything. So I'll just go Command Z to undo again. I want to select as much as I can. There we go. So it keeps doing that. So what we can do is I can go up here to my tools and choose the one with the minus sign on it. Click on that. And I'm now going to go click on stuff that I don't want selected. There's little lines there on the table, over here as well. And that's deselected that. Then I'll go back to my plus button again and select my feet again. So I've clicked on that stuff and said, no, I actually don't want to select the table on the floor. I just want this guy here. I'll undo that because it's gone too far. There we go. And that's pretty much it. I'm just going to go Command X, which is cut, just to, oops, no, that's right. Oh, yes, right. So what we need to do first, before I do the cut, is over here on Hologram Ash in my Layers window, I'm just going to right-click on that. You can see it's got this little icon there. I'm going to right-click and choose Rasterize Layer, which is right there. Click on that. There we go. It gets rid of that little icon. It basically turns it into a pixelated image. Otherwise, it just sees it as a drawing and it doesn't know what to do with it. Doesn't matter if you don't understand that, but rasterizing is important. So now if I go Command X and cut, you can see it cuts me out reasonably well. I'm still missing a bit of my head, but I am going to be a hologram, so it doesn't matter too much. Okay, cut again, and then undo just to check. I'm just checking. I don't actually really want to cut myself out. I just want to select myself and make sure I'm getting everything. There we go. That's pretty good. Okay, so now what I want to do is get rid of the background. So I've selected me. I'm going to go up to my select menu, making sure that my hologram layer ash is still chosen. Go to select and choose inverse. And that means the opposite. So what it's actually doing now is selecting everything except me. So I can now just press the delete key on my keyboard and all of that stuff goes away, which is what I want. So I want to deselect everything now. You can see I've still got the little line, little ants crawling on me. So I'm just going to go Command D on my keyboard. I'm on a Mac. If you're on a PC, it's Control D. And go back to my arrow tool up there, the very first one. I'm just going to move myself up and put myself on the tablet like that. Now you can see the edges aren't great. You might want to use this one here, the eraser tool, and just clean up a few bits that I might have missed. Things like that. You might want to just sort of tidy up the edges a bit. Just sort of gentle clicking. You don't want to get too carried away and just delete whole bits of yourself because that'll look not very good. So I'm just sort of, there we go. That's looking pretty good. That's not too bad. You see I've accidentally deleted some of my head there, but it won't matter too much because I've just brought it back anyway, but because I am going to, I'm going to be projection, so I don't need to be a crisp, clear image. Anyway, so that's about what we want. I'm now going to go back to my arrow tool. I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose from the menu that comes up, so I'll explain that a little bit clearer. On the hologram ash layer, just to the right of the text, I'm going to right click and choose duplicate layer. Okay, I'll just leave it as copy and go okay. I've now got two. Alright, I'm now, with this layer selected, the copy layer, up here where it says normal, right there, that's what's called a blend mode. So I'm just going to click on that menu and change it to multiply. You can see it makes me a little bit darker. Okay, so what I'm now going to do, we're going to do some adjustments, and we'll lighten that up along the way. We're going to go to our adjustments layer, which is this, our adjustments, which is our tab up there. So we click on that. The first one we want is hue and saturation, which is this one. Okay. Down here at the bottom of this window, you can see this little box with an arrow on it. All right, so we just click on that, and it means that it's just going to affect this one. Okay. So by clicking on that, it means that what we're doing now with hue and saturation will just affect the layer directly below it, which is the one we just did. So I'm now going to go up to my hue and saturation settings. First thing we want to do is see where it says colorize here. We're just going to tick that. Okay. We're now going to grab our hue and drag it down to this sort of, you can see here, this sort of this cyan, that sort of hologram projection kind of color. Okay. We're going to drag our saturation up a reasonable amount because we want me to be pretty blue, probably up to probably around 50-ish. It's not so bad. Yeah, that'll do. And then we're going to go back and click on the original image of me. So just the layer there called hologram ash. And here for opacity is visibility. Okay, so when it's 100% visible or full, it's 100%. So we're just going to click on the arrow to the right of that 100% and drag that down. As we drag it down, because we're dragging down our visibility, you can see it's starting to get a little bit see-through because that's what we're doing there. So about 50%, maybe about 45%, about, yeah, thereabouts, doesn't matter too much. Click on that arrow to make that menu go away again. And now we're going to click back on the hologram ash copy layer, so this one here, and we're going to do what's called a layer style. So make sure you don't click on the icon here with the text, just to the right of where the text is, just here on a sort of an empty part of the layer. Double click, just left click, and it brings up this this layer style window. So I'm just going to click and drag it out of the way so you can see what's happening as we do it. There it is. So we're going to go down to outer glow, this one down here. So I'm going to click on that, make sure it's ticked. You can see already I've got a bit of an outer glow happening. All right, so up here for color, we're just going to click on this window there. Yours will probably be a different color. Mine remembers the last colors when I was practicing. So click on that, and you want to drag these little arrows here. You can see you've got all different shades there. So we're going to drag that up till they're about sort of the cyanish, light bluish sort of color there, and then click over around about here and go OK. Now with this window, we're going to drag, your size is probably down like that. We want to drag this size paddle up. I've gone up to about sort of, whatever you want, get a decent glow there. Mine's up to about 35 there, whatever you're happy with, personal choice. And then up here with the blend mode, again, yours is probably sort of set to normal maybe. You want to change it, click on this blend mode menu and choose linear dodge add. This one here. And it'll give you that sort of nice glowy look about it. Okay. So now we're going to click on OK. We're happy with those settings thus far. Now we want to add another adjustments layer. So just with this hologram ash copy still selected, we'll go adjustments up here, and we're going to go to brightness and contrast, which is the first one. It remembers from the last time, so it's got this arrow, so it's only applying it to the layer below. And we want to drag the brightness up to probably around 20. Well, let's see. I've dragged mine up to 30. 30. Yeah, that actually looks a bit better because it was pretty dark to start with. So I might drag my brightness up to about 70 and my contrast up to about 30-ish. Doesn't look too bad. Okay. So again, it's just about a matter of sort of deciding on using your eye to get the sort of look you're happy with. But once you've got the skills down, you'll be able to do it better yourself. So now we want to create a new layer. Now your new layer, just going to move that out of the way. Your new layer icon is this little one here down the bottom. It looks like a page with a corner turned over. So we're just going to click on that, and we want it above the adjustment layers we just added, so like right there. If it's not there, you can actually just click and drag, click and hold and drag layers around to reposition them. So right there, we're going to go over to our selection rectangular marquee tool it is, it's our selection tool. And then just above me, we're going to click and hold and drag a very thin selected area like that. And we're going to choose Edit, Fill, and change where it says Contents, we're going to change that to white and go OK. And you can see it fills that line. We're then going to create another layer, and I'm going to do the same thing, try and keep it as lined up as possible. These are basically going to be like projection lines, like it's sort of a you know, like to give that sort of vibe that it's sort of digital. Okay, so I'm going to make this, we want this sort of a little bit random and thinness and thickness and stuff. So I'm going to make this one a little bit thicker and do the same thing, edit, fill, white, until you get that. Okay, I might do one more, maybe two more new layers, create a new layer. And also the gaps between them you want to be random. So I might do this one a little bit further away than the other ones. Make this one sort of a thin one again. Go edit, fill, white. There we go. And we'll do one more. So I'll create a new layer. Do it again. And might make this one sort of a little bit closer but slightly thicker. So about maybe like that. That'll do it right. So edit, fill, white, okay. Okay, so we want them to completely cover me. That's what we're going for there. So we'll just go, hold down Command and D to deselect on your keyboard, so it's not still selected. Control D if you're on a PC. And you can see we've got these 4 layers now. If I click the eye to hide them, you can see that's that one, that layer is that one, that layer is that one, that layer is that one. So I'm going to, with the top layer selected, layer 4, hold down my Shift key on my keyboard and click on that bottom line one. So I've got the 4 lines selected. I'm now going to right click on any one of those highlighted layers like that, and I'm going to choose Convert to Smart Object. And it combines all of those layers into one. Okay, so I'm just going to double click on that text. I'm just going to call it line. I'm now going to duplicate that layer again. So right click, duplicate layer, lines copy will do. And I'm going to use my arrow tool, just click up here on arrow, and it's duplicated it, but they're right on top of each other. So if I press the down arrow on my keyboard now, which is what I'm doing, you can see them moving down. Okay, so just sort of a random-ish position is probably good. I will right click and duplicate this layer again and go OK. And again, I'm just going to use my arrow tool, my arrow key, my down arrow on my keyboard. That's about right. We'll do it one more time. Right click, duplicate layer, OK, down arrow. And that should about do it. That'll cover me. There we go. Nice. Okay, so same thing. I'm going to hold down with the top layer of lines selected, hold down Shift and click on the bottom one so they're all selected. Right click, convert to smart object. And then I'm going to rasterize. So I'm just going to right click and choose, there it is, rasterize layer. Gets rid of that symbol again and just turns it all into one sort of pixelated shape. Okay, so what I want to do now is select me. Okay, so back here where I am, either of these layers, I'm going to hold down the Command key on my keyboard or Control on the PC and click on the actual thumbnail, so the little square you can see. Click on that, and you can see what that does is it selects only what's on that layer. So you can see it's automatically selected all around me. Okay, so now what we want to do, because that lines layer is still selected, but we've selected the shape of me, we want to go select inverse, so it's selecting everything but me, and then press delete. Okay, and we're left with that. So we've now got the lines just on me. So we go Command D to deselect again. And we want to go to our, so with lines, we can just double click on that text and just call it lines now because it's only one line. There we go. And here with our blending mode, this one, we're just going to choose where it says normal, click on it and choose overlay, which is down here. Okay. And we're going to drop the opacity, still with line selected. Here's our opacity option. Just click on that. Drop our opacity, so our visibility down to maybe about 30%. That's not so bad. About there. Click on the arrow to get rid of it. And then we're going to do one more thing for this. We're going to go to Filter and Add Noise. So we're going to go down to Noise, Add Noise. And it's just going to add a bit of grain to it. Just to the lines though. So we'll give them a bit of, like there's a bit of distortion going on. So I've just got mine at about 65, 66%. Go OK, and see we've got that. Now, that's pretty much it for the hologram part. Now we're just adding a little bit more light to give it a little bit more realism. So with our spotlight layer here, click on him and click on the square where the eye would go to bring back its visibility. That's what it is. So it doesn't look too good at the moment, but we'll fix that. Okay, first things first, we're going to rotate. So we're just going to, just so we can see a bit better, just going to move up here and I'm going to go, hold down either Command T on your keyboard or it's the same as going Edit, Free Transform. See it says the shortcut there, Command T.